In this video, we'll show you how to build a standard banner ad in the HTML5 ad builder. You can start from a blank ad or use one of the predefined templates. For this example, we'll go from a blank ad. First off, we'll assign a name. This is the name of the ad that will appear on the platform, so give it a good name. Our most recommended name would be to use the campaign name, the ad name, and the size of the ad. Next, we select the format. For this, we'll be choosing standard banner. Select the dimensions for the ad. You can choose one of the predefined sizes, or you can set your own using the custom option. We'll use the 300 by 250 medium rectangle. Click on the Create button. This will bring you into the Ad Builder interface. Here you'll find your blank stage or ad in the center. On the top you'll see the name of the ad and the type, and it will also show the size of the ad. Across the top you'll see buttons to start from new again, open an existing ad, an option to save the draft, upload button for uploading the ad onto our platform, preview, and the asset library. On the left you'll find components which you can add to the ad. There's options for image, text, hotspot, and because this is a standard ad, the other components have been grayed out. Underneath there is a layers menu which lists out all the components and allows you to reorder elements in the creative. On the right there's a properties menu which has the name of the ad, size of the ad. You can change the color of the stage if you want, and it also has a place to upload the backup image, which, for HTML5 creatives, define the size of the ad in the platform. And finally, we have a field for the click-through URL. Underneath is the Actions panel. This panel allows you to add actions and animations to components on the stage. It also shows a timeline for all the actions underneath. For this demo, we'll be building a simple ad for a car company. First thing we want to do is add in an image for the background. To do that, I'll use the image component. To add a component, all you need to do is click on the component. Here the image component has been placed onto the stage. If I double click on the component, two icons will show up. The first one brings up the asset library, while the second lets me upload an image directly from my computer. For this one, I'll load the background from my computer. Because I'll be using it as a background, I'll need to adjust the properties and the size of the image. Firstly, I'll want to change the name to something more relevant. Here I'll put in background. I can set the size using these values here in the properties menu. I can also set the position. The ad builder has already detected the image size to be the same as the ad, so I don't need to change this. But let's move the image so it's over the stage. I'll adjust the X and Y coordinates to 0. Other things I can do here is set the opacity of the image. I can also select a different image if I want to change the one currently there. There's another option here called Smart Item, which is used for dynamic creatives. You can take our DCO training session if you want to know more about this in detail. Next, I'll want to put in some text for the heading. Let's use the name of the car model here. Click on the text component. Now I have a text box created that I can put my heading in. I can adjust its properties, but I can also change the font, adjust its height and color, and put some styling to the text. There's also a way to adjust the line height as well. If I wanted to use a custom font from either my computer or from services such as Google Web Fonts, I can do this here. Let's put in Master CS9 and make the font color white. First I'll type my text. Now I change the color of the font. I'll change the size of the font to make it a bit bigger, and I'll also adjust the line height so you can see all the text. and I reposition the text. I also change the name of the layer to give it something more meaningful. Cool, so now I want to add in my car image, so I'll add another image component. Select the file like before. This time I'll use assets which I've already uploaded onto the platform. You will see it being added to the list of assets I have in the creative. I can select the car image now and see it added to the stage. Now I resize and position this. Again, change the name. Note that if you adjust the size of the image using the drag pointers, the image will pixelate, as it would in most tools. Best practice is to ensure the dimensions of the images match the size that you want. If you need to adjust layers, you can do this by moving the layers around. The order goes from top to bottom, where the top is the closest to you. Next, I'll add in another text field for the price. Now I can preview the ad and make sure it looks fine. Click on the preview button and this will bring up the preview window. Looking good, but the ad currently doesn't do anything. One thing we want to do is click through to a landing page, so let's do that. I'll add in a click-through URL into the properties. Make sure it is the full URL path, so it must include the http://. There's two options I can use for the click-through. I can make it using a button, which I can do by using this button component here. You will see a button placed in the middle. I can customize this button by changing the text and font, but also what it looks like in the different states. Now for a lot of ads, we want the whole ad to be clickable. For this ad, we'll do this using the hotspot. I can delete a component by clicking on the component and pressing delete. Now I'll add the hotspot. Here I'll adjust the size to match the size of the ad and adjust the position so it's over the top. An important thing we want for the hotspot layer is to be at the top, otherwise we'll have other components covering the hotspot. Here I can see it's already been added to the top. I'll change the name for the hotspot so that it makes more sense. Now we want to define the action for the hotspot. We can do this in the Actions and Animations panel. We can assign actions for any component on the stage, which in this case is our hotspot. Firstly, highlight the component. Click on Create New Event. You'll see that an event has been created for us. Click on the Event drop-down, and we can assign an action to a number of events. You can have actions that happen on ad load, tap, click, double click, and mouse events. For this, I'll select tap click. Next, I'll select the action which I want for this hotspot. There's a number of actions available to choose from. Note that for standard banners, there is only one interaction that can be recorded. So for this, I'll be choosing click-through. Now I'll go back to the preview window to test this. And you can see it opens. Now I can click on the banner, and I can see it opens up the page. Now we've pretty much made a very simple ad, and we can proceed to upload it by pressing the upload button. Before I can proceed, I must select a default image. This image is shown when the browser doesn't support JavaScript, and for HTML5 creatives, use to define this ad size. So please make sure the size of the dimensions matches the size of the ad. This is also highly important as you need the size of the creative to match the placement size, and vice versa, otherwise we won't be able to attach it for trafficking. Here I'm going to use one of my background image which I have on in my assets. Now I can continue and press the upload button. Here I can continue to edit the ad or go into the ad setup. If I click on the ad setup, I'll find that all the settings have been carried over and saved for me. I can preview my creative again using the preview window. This concludes the tutorial on building standard banners in the Ad Builder.